Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and this is impressive. What we've got here is the next meme tool. In fact, I'd go so far to say this is a trifecta where Kobalt Harbor Freighted Knipex across three iconic pliers. And not only in the style of plier, but in the size of plier. This is pretty neat. This is a $25 set. I guess it retailed for $29. They're selling it at $25. It is a Christmas offering, so a lot of Lowe's are going to have a display of these pliers somewhere, and they're going to be 25 bucks a package, I believe, or 24 and change. They are in stores. You might be able to actually get somebody to find one. Check the Christmas area. But other than that, it has to do with the scheduling of the display, and it might be a while till they're really flooding the market. But check these out. What we've got essentially is the equivalent of the 150 Knipex twin grip right there. And what do they call this thing? They call it the double grip. Okay, not the twin grip, the double grip. It's a little different. We'll take a closer look at it. Then we've got the kind of classic Cobra in the 125 right there. A little bit different. I'll compare it to the Work Pro 2. And then we've got the plier wrench, and you can try it. In fact, it says pliers wrench. So I think that's what Knipex calls theirs. I don't have my 150 handy, but I've got my 180, and that's so we'll do some comparisons there. So here's what they look like out of the box. Let's start with this guy here. This is you just can't mistake that for anything but a twin grip, and they call it a double grip. You can see on the side they do have a much more exposed push pin there. This is not as smooth. I'm guessing that they beefed it up a little bit for strength. I'll get into that front end in just a sec. But as you can see here, plus it does have kind of that no pinch thing that Knipex was trying to incorporate into their pliers, so you can't actually get something stuck up in here too close, but people manage to. Anyway, let's look at the jaws. Let me go to the largest setting here. So this is what closed looks like in comparison. You can kind of see that. If we actually do close them, let's look at that screw grabbing up at the front end. It is a little bit different. This is really dialed in. I don't know about patents and stuff like that, but as far as having that screw grabbing, this is a much larger channel, as you can see there, and they're using a little bit different, a finer crosshatch here, or finer hatching, I guess, not a crosshatch, right there. The trapezoid is a little bit different if you look at that. That's kind of the classic. This seems to be a narrower jaw, little thinner depth compared to this. And then what do we have once you got way inside? That's what it looks like, so fairly similar there. Now, 24 bucks, 25 bucks, 25 divided by 3 is what, 7 and change, versus what you end up paying in the 20s to 30s for something like that. Let's take a closer look at this guy. Real similar size. Again, a little bit more meat up front. Just probably for strength. You can see how that one bows out. A little bit higher here. Chrome vanadium steel, kind of a soft grip handle, sort of a double dip, where they dip it in the vinyl, it looks like, and then into the whatever this material is. The button, again, also sticks out quite a ways. If I compare it to the Work Pro, it's sort of similar. I think I don't know if that's the Work Pro or the Knipex button on there. Remember in that video I broke it, but you can see that it does have thinner arms than either the Knipex or the Work Pro. And it has, if you look at that, a little bit more of a Work Pro-y front end. This has got some artistic element there. This has just got a dent. Knipex is smooth. And then the operation, very similar. It's using that double-sided locking mechanism, kind of the standard. I did notice this was off-center a little bit. that looks like the drill hole, and then the way this lines up doesn't have that Knipex perfection. But they got to cost somewhere. Then here's the plier wrench. Let's compare that. I found my smaller one and my larger one. I don't remember where the other one is, but you can see, I'll even compare it to the smaller. Fairly narrow profile. Again, it is flat parallel jaws. Little bigger version. This is the 180 here. This is what would be the equivalent of a 150. That one they've dialed in a little bit better with the push button. And on this one, looks like they've got a little different mechanism. On the push button, they're using more of a flush torque screw there than this little domed one. Be different. I don't know what was on this guy here. This is using that domed screw as well. Looks like very similar leveraging mechanism. Can't really compare because I don't have the exact size. But if you don't have a small one, I mean, this is like ideal EDC. A little bit of play, a little bit similar, I guess. You know, in terms of the slot. Nah, there's a little bit more here. Yeah, there's more than on the Knipex as far as the blade slot between the lateral movements here. But for an EDC kit, there you go. It's a meme tool, actually. This is the next meme tool because everybody's going to want a set of these. And it is a trifecta knockoff of Knipex. So, you know, Lowe's, Kobalt, really Harbor Freighted Knipex across the board. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV. I don't know how that'll end up. But I don't know, because they're a Christmas thing, I'm not sure they're going to stand the test of time as far as the lineup of Lowe's tools or Kobalt tools, but they will be available if they're not already. And they are available online. Got a little secret here. I looked them up and thought, oh, okay, I'll buy a pair, but then it was going to cost me like $6 in shipping, so I decided to get 2 sets, and then my shipping went to free. But I could return this to the store if I wanted to recover the cost of both that. It's still got the free shipping. I was just used to Home Depot. I always get free shipping from Home Depot. You know, where I live, the shipping thing is kind of a big deal. But anyway, there it is. The latest and greatest meme tool and Harbor Freighted company. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.